Well, Colonel Richard Kemp, thank you very much for joining us in this very complex times for the Middle East. I wanted to start by asking you, as you know, as we all are aware, Israel has launched in the last few days a ground operation inside Lebanon following Hezbollah's missile attacks. From a military standpoint, how does this, you think this signals the beginning of a wider war with Hezbollah, or we're looking at a limited operation intended to pushing the group away from the border?
I would say the offensive that's currently going on against Hezbollah in Lebanon is going to be intended to impose very severe destruction on Hezbollah. And Hezbollah, of course, exists for this very moment. They've got all those missiles in Lebanon pointed at Israel exactly to be used at a time when Israel and the United States, or the United States, carries out operations against Iran. So they're here for that purpose. One has to assume that while they have any capability, they will use it. And that could, of course, endanger Israeli civilians. So I think this operation is going to be a pretty decisive attack against Hezbollah.
I want to ask you about the attacks on Arab states. Is Tehran now trying to widen the war deliberately in order to force regional governments to pressure Washington and Jerusalem to stop the campaign?
I do believe that their objective in that is to apply sufficient pressure on Arab countries like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, in order to get them in turn to pressure the US to cool off the operation, to cool off the attacks. In other words, that those countries that have been targeted by Iran, some of whom were on the fence or not strongly willing to take action against Iran in the past, now have gone over to the other side, now have basically joined what is effectively an ad hoc coalition against Iran led by the United States.
We're in the sixth day of U.S.-Israeli strikes targeting missile launchers, air defenses, and the IRGC leadership in Iran. How much military capacity does Iran still retain to sustain a prolonged conflict?
As every day goes by, Iran is being further and further weakened. As I understand it, the extent of US and Israeli combined offensive operations against Iran exceeded even the 2003 shock and awe campaign against Iraq. Don't forget also that the US have sunk almost the entirety, if not the entirety, of the Iranian Navy. It's destroyed, I think, almost entirely again. And then, of course, there is the possibility, which I think we would hope for, of regime change in Iran as a result of this military campaign.
To finish this interview, I have one more question. It's related with what you just mentioned. As we all know, the end game here would be the end of the regime as we know it. But what are the other possibilities? What are the other options that we may see at the end of this war?
You know, it's very hard to predict exactly what will happen, but I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see a tidy end to this.
Richard Kemp, thank you for speaking with the Media Line. Thank you for your assessment. It's always a pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.